Let's break it down in game two, though. What a sensational game from both teams. Alliance in charge, and then Na'Vi come roaring back into the game. Plenty to talk about, so let's break it down with our experts. Purge, where do we start with this game?
I thought Alliance had that one in the bag. They played the early game very well. They aggressively tri-laned the Huskar, which is a counter against him until he gets a couple levels. He's a bit weak. And they had command. There was even some big mistakes. Ditira, Armlet toggled poorly mid, and it got him the easiest kill ever. They stole Aegis with like 1 second to go.
They denied the Aegis.
And they denied the Aegis. Like, everything looked in their command with the exception of the fact that Na'Vi kept taking really fast Roches. So other than that, it just looked like the game was over.
Na'Vi taking really fast Roches, and they had this, it's like a very strong dual core. General got so massive toward the later stages of the game, and with amplified damage plus a Huskar who's unkillable, we could say.
Out of control.
How can Alliance really respond? It's pretty much all in on Loda. Bulldog wasn't able to get much farm, and I feel like it kind of, me and Charlie were kind of looking at each other, and we're like, we're not really too happy with the way that Alliance was positioning themselves all over the map. Like, sometimes it was like you could tell Loda's 100% committed to the split push, and the rest of his team goes for like a kill on the Huskar. They lose 3 heroes. Then another situation is happening where Loda's doing another split push thing. One of the lanes is not being pushed out completely, and we see 3 or 4 of Alliance heroes just sitting behind their tier 2, not doing anything, just kind of lurking back and forth. So I don't know. I feel like maybe they just felt the pressure so much from this Huskar.
I mean, if you look at it, it's Loda gets real great start, 6-slotted Naga real fast, but you know who fell behind? It was S4.
Yeah.
He didn't output enough damage. Loda's off split pushing, and all the while Alliance is fighting S4, and S4 is constantly dying. He's not getting ahead in farm. He's not picking up the items he needs, and then all of a sudden you're all in on a Naga that gets 6-slotted real fast. It's not enough for Alliance.
And the itemization from Na'Vi was just pretty much perfect. You know, Seneko picking up the early pipe really messes up with Leshrac. They have all the heals for the Huskar already, and then just these little tiny tweaks. AC on Chen, Vlad's on Chen. They have so many auras just to save them versus the potential of just a solo Naga carry. And Nightstalker just really wasn't able to do much either because he couldn't find farm.
Yeah, they thought that they'd be fine if they just got Eggs and started team fights well, but it wasn't really like that. This is the best timing I've ever seen. I can barely see any HP there on Roche. Quite the easy pickup here.
Takes the cheese, eats it, grabs the Aegis. Huge fight.
But every fight was still a pretty hard stretch for them. Like, S4 he was very countered this game. They didn't have good Huskar solutions, and that worked until 45 minutes or so, 40 minutes or so, even against Oracle. But at some point, they just didn't do enough single target damage. They needed a hero that was a typical carry.
Yeah, in that fight, you could see the Dazzle Shadow Wave did one of the most damages in that fight just because of the illusions and because of the weave just started to build up. It was really for them to get the Oracle out of position and isolate him. Seneko 3-1 and 14. 1 death on that Oracle.
I think what you've seen out of this patch is that you can split push all you want, but eventually you have to win a team fight. Yeah. You still have to be able to do that. And Alliance, when it came down to it, they were just a 6-slotted Naga, and he didn't have the backup he needed to be able to fully wipe out Na'Vi.
And there was a lot of pretty big mistakes, honestly. Loda canceling, well, he TP'd late. That's why he canceled his TP, because he knew his song was almost done. He was going to get stunned. They were just always trying to cover each other a bit. Maybe not always, but sometimes it led to heroes dying that didn't need to die, and then Alliance is on the back foot. But I think they definitely needed to minimize their deaths in the early game. Once they got Radiance, the game was kind of straightforward. Did they really need to try to kill Huskar? They could have maybe just split push, gotten some map control, and then eventually high ground. But all those deaths really added up. It accelerated Huskar's items. It got him to that stage where he was sort of unkillable.
If you notice, Alliance never took a Rax. Despite all that split push, it was Na'Vi had great base defenses, very scrappy, kept in it, even while getting split pushed by the Naga.
It seemed like it was Chen. I mean, his farm was like 3rd on his team, which is super incredible.
Both games, Archstyle's farm on his Chen has been insane. Picks up the Greaves into Agnums, and then even gets an AC afterwards.
Yeah. It was really worth it this game too. The large creep, the one that looks like a dinosaur, you can amp up attack speed. It works great on Slardar. It's essentially more than a moon shard, I believe.
Yeah, the amount of auras coming out from Na'Vi, you know, what we were saying. They had the pipe on Seneko, they had Vlad's on Chen, AC on Chen, they have the ancient creeps, which have the bonus life, bonus armor, bonus attack speed like you were talking about, and it just ended up, it added up so much. It's a Naga almost by himself versus all these different things.
And she's not very good. She's not built for right click. She's built for split push and Radiance Burn and lower cooldowns and all these things. It's not a hero that is going to perform well against that many auras.
Yeah. You can just look at the fights, and I mean, at this point, they are, Navi's quite ahead. They're just way too massive. The Slardar is pretty much six-slotted on top of the Huskar, and they can't kill either of them.
I think the only item that Alliance maybe could have bought that might have given them a slightly better chance of winning this was an Eggs on Dazzle to just super reduce the armor of Huskar. But even that, I don't know if that was a solution, and it's not like it's something that he could have farmed rapidly. But everything else they bought, I thought, made a lot of sense. They got 2 Heaven's Halberds to stop the Huskar from attacking. They got a Solar Crest on the Dazzle, same principle, lowers his armor, but he got the MKB so fast, so evasion stopped being a solution. And once that hit, Huskar just did whatever he wanted, every fight.
I think they needed disables like Sheep or something to just lock down a hero like the Huskar or the Slardar and then go take the fight from there.
Yeah, we were saying it too. It's so hard to get into that back line of Na'Vi. The Slardar in the front line, the Huskar in the front line, plus all the Chen creeps. Yeah, like, you have to give this guy the MVP.
Except for that one death.
Except for that one.
That one
death.
was pretty funny.
Yeah, and I guess you could kind of say like not dropping his item for the Roshan,
Yeah,
that
that
Loda
was-
denying it, but
Yeah.
that could have just been a miscommunication between them.
I mean, it's a high-pressure match.
High pressure, yeah.
Everyone makes mistakes.
Probably says, do I take Aegis or you? And that 1 second hesitation is all it takes. But he played amazing, definitely.
With the steal and the deny, did Loda come close to?
If Alliance had won the match,
Yeah.
Yeah, if Allied had won the match, it was definitely Loda MVP here, but unfortunate for them.
Indeed. So we're tied up at 1-1. Let's look ahead to